I know something you don't want to know.
You're still listening. This is our final transmission.
Oh, we're here, Jamie. It's Final Transmission. It's Sam Russo and Jamie Carruthers watching and talking about one horror movie a week from the dawn of time until the end of time. How are you doing, Jamie?
I'm doing okay. Did you introduce yourself as Sam Roosford?
Did I? Did I call myself Sam Rashford?
Maybe. See, if you want to understand the genesis of that conversation, that's a Patreon thing for only people that pay for the Patreon.
Yeah, if you want to learn about... Oh, I'm not even going to tell them.
What happened to Sam at the beach? Find out on our Patreon. $5 a month. Patreon.com/Final Transmission. The end.
Find out how we solved Jamie's nipple problem.
Yeah. I'm well. I'm well. Sam, how are you?
Yeah? I'm fantastic. I'm ready to talk about...
Such a liar.
I'm not lying. What are you talking about? I'm great. I had a sudden second win just now when we pressed record. Cabin Fever 2, Spring Fever.
Yes. Once again, I picked films this month that I thought you would like. So we'll see how this goes.
Yes. A novel concept.
But yeah, we're doing Cabin Fever 2, Spring Fever, directed by Ty West from 2009.
Directed by Rashfest.
It's 82 minutes long. It stars top billed cast member Ryder Strong.
That is disingenuous.
Yeah, I think Ryder Strong has good representation and therefore got top billing somehow.
I think it was a cynical cash grab, but carry on.
I don't think that Ryder Strong has the cachet in order for it to be a cynical cash grab.
I think what I meant is on the part of the movie people, the broader... Who does that? Who makes that decision? Is that an executive producer?
Well, so like there is a thing with where they negotiate for where your credit sits.
Yeah. Is that your agent does that?
Yeah. So I think that Ryder Strong's people, this is my guess, were like, he'll come back, but he'll die in the opening scene, but he also gets top billing in the movie.
Good negotiation tactics.
Because like people will tune out of the credits. So if your name's not first or last, nobody knows. That's why you also get like big stars who are like, and Robert De Niro.
Mm.
Obviously, Robert De Niro is not in Cabin Fever 2.
He's not. I don't know if it'd be better if he was.
No, he's got nipples. Could you milk him?
Excellent callback to a great film and our Patreon. 10 points, Jamie.
So it also stars, returning from the first movie, Giuseppe Andrews.
Yep.
And then we've also got Noah Segan, Michael Bowen, Judah Friedlander pops up. So does Mark Borchardt from American Movie, and a bunch of other people who did not make careers.
Oh, not yet. They could still be waiting for that big break. This wasn't it for any of them.
Cards at the table. I am a big fan of the original Cabin Fever. I think it's Eli Roth's best movie.
Wow.
I was a big fan of it when it first came out. I expected to hate it, and I just kind of fucking loved it.
Why exactly?
Because it's super gross and super funny, and like it's the sort of gross that makes you laugh because it's kind of just so uncomfortably gross.
Mm.
The scene in the first one where the girl who is infected with the toxin or whatever it is, the necrotizing fasciitis, the scene where she shaves her legs is one of like the grossest things in any movie ever.
Yeah, it's pretty grisly.
And so I didn't even know that they were making a sequel until 2009 when I saw Ty West talk about it in his Q&A around the release of House of the Devil, which we covered a few months ago, sometime relatively recently. If you wanted to hear that, go back into the archive and find it. And he was pretty down on it, and we'll get into some of that a bit later. But that was my first hearing of there being a sequel of Cabin Fever. And even though Ty West was neggy about the movie and the situation surrounding it, I was still stoked because that flavor of gross speaks to me in a special little horrible part of my skin. So I like this movie. What's your relationship with Cabin Fever as a franchise? And by the way, as a franchise, I mean the first movie, because everything after Cabin Fever 2 is entirely, completely unwatchable garbage.
I imagined it might be. My cursory research revealed enough for me to know that I'm not going to be watching them. I thought Cabin Fever was absolutely fine. I remember being like, I mean, it's nothingy to me, like a bit nondescript. I think I remember thinking, oh, that wasn't what I thought it would be, and that was about it. That's as far as I went. I think I was entertained, but I never thought about the film ever again. And then when you told me there was a second one, it took me a while to remember what the first one was. And then I realized that I had seen it and that I was very surprised that there was a sequel, and even more surprised of a full directorial handoff switcheroo to Ty West for the second one. That was a real surprise.
Yeah, so there's that really weird joke at the end of the first. Well, they set it up at the beginning and then it pays off at the end, and it's just really weird where they go to like the shack that everybody goes to in every single horror movie, the shack shop, and there's a big gun behind the counter, and they're like, "What's the gun for?" And the guy's like, "That's for the N bombs." Yeah. And then the joke is at the end, a bunch of black guys come and they're best mates with the guy, and he's just looking after their gun for them or something.
Yeah,
fucking weird. Frankly,
yeah, it's a real swing at a Blazing Saddles-esque joke in the middle of a horribly weird, gory, offbeat comedy. It's a lot of comedic swings in both these movies, and a pretty low batting average front to back.
Well, all right, don't show your hand too early, Sammy.
Sorry.
So, all right, should we do synopsis and then just get straight into it?
Go on, lad.
Just to check, so you hadn't... you said that you didn't even realise that there was a sequel.
Had no idea it existed until you told me with that mischievous little grin on your face that says, I know something you don't want to know.
Well, tell you what, I'm not going to be scheduling Cabin Fever 3 Patient Zero anytime soon. I'll tell you that for fucking free.
Okay.
All right, here's the synopsis. It's the same day as the end of Cabin Fever. Paul, who... you may remember from the end of Cabin Fever, played by Ryder Strong, is face down in a body of water. It turns out that body of water is a reservoir that belongs to a bottled water company called Down Home Water that supply bottled water, presumably to a number of places, but most importantly for this movie is the local Springfield High School, who just happened to be having their prom in mere hours. So a bunch of this bottled water makes its way into the high school, and unfortunately, people consume the water and then begin to feel the effects of the disease that affects the people in the original Cabin Fever. These people include Noah Segan's 26-year-old high school senior, and his nerdy friends, the girl of his dreams who barely knows he exists, a bunch of bullies, the gay principal, all of your high school movie tropes.
Trope-tacular.
And that's the plot of the movie, I would say.
I would agree that's the plot of the movie. I'm absolutely astonished to learn... Let's picture the scene. I'm watching this. I'm maybe 20 minutes in, and I make a mental bet with myself that this is somehow a trauma movie. I was convinced it was a trauma movie. That nothing could have dissuaded me. I would have put, I don't know, £100 on it being a trauma movie. It's not. But why is it? It just is.
Yeah, so again, we'll get into this a bit deeper when we're talking about spoilers. But when they were making this, Ty West and the other writers that were involved wanted to make a super goofy, gross out comedy.
Right. And
they wanted it to feel kind of low rent, like a John Waters movie, maybe a bit like a Paul Bartel eating Raoul type situation, super 80s splattery. So I think that's why it feels trauma-y. I think it also has that sort of weird low film stock resolution of a trauma film. Everything's shot kind of a bit too close.
Yep.
Feels all kind of zoomed in a way
where
it
ticks so many of your boxes, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm a fan. What can I say?
I mean, a person explodes very early on in this movie.
Very, very early on in this movie.
That's when I sort of knew that you were having a great time.
Well, why don't we take this break, Sam, and we'll come back and we'll get into the film proper, some of the issues, some of the punch the air moments that I have, and we'll see if you actually fucking liked it or not. Because, like I say, I did pick this and all the movies this month in the hopes that you would like them, to try and say sorry for last month.
It's not me you need to apologize to, Jamie. It's everyone listening.
Well, yeah, but they're not in my fucking WhatsApp messages crying about fucking Italian.
Crying about dolls. The Jamie Carruthers story.
All right, back in a moment.
Whoa, holy shit. I guess that's why they call it Phantom Power.
Sam,
Yo.
I'm back.
Yep.
And before I say anything about anything, I want to say that this podcast is brought to you by Red Scare Industries.
The Machine.
The daddies.
The big papas of punk rock. Go to redscare.net. Check out all the happenings. So many tour dates. So many new releases. So many magical, musical, wonderful offerings flowing out into the universe. Get yourself a slice at redscare.net.
Some of those tour dates are Sam Russo tour dates in August. Okay, Sam.
Yep.
Cabin Fever 2. Let's get into it.
Yeah, spring fever, baby.
Yeah, stupid name. Proms aren't in spring, are they? If it was the Spring Fling, which is a dance that people have.
I don't think the prom is in spring, but I think it's supposed to be maybe a joke about water.
Oh, there you go. I'll allow it. Suddenly, 10 out of 10. Perfect. No notes. I'll shock you, Sam. I've got lots of notes.
Reservoir Fever.
Ty West tried to get his name taken off this.
Yeah. Surprising that you would get that far to the end of a movie. You wrote it, you directed it, you shot it.
Yeah.
You had a big hand in the edit. And at that point, you decide you want a pseudonym instead of your real name. What changed, Ty?
So, what changed was they made the movie completely the way that he wanted to, and everyone was stoked about it. And then they finished it, and Lionsgate said, "You know what? This sucks. We want to re-edit it. We're gonna get another editor." But then nothing happened for ages, and they finally appointed a new editor after Ty West had gone into production on House of the Devil. So he was not available to be involved. And they recut the movie and shot some new stuff. And Ty West felt that it differed from his vision of the movie so much that he no longer felt like he should be credited as the director. He didn't want to be credited as the director anymore.
How could it be that different?
I don't know what his original vision was. I've read a draft of the script from 2004, which is pretty different to the final product.
Okay.
But I think it was maybe the third or fourth draft of the script. So like there were loads more drafts after that anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't know what his original vision was. But he's on record as saying that he wanted to make a gross out comedy in the vein of Eating Raoul, the Paul Bartel movie, and a John Waters movie with 80s splatter and super stupid high school tropes and insane editing decisions like star wipes and like other kinds of wipes. And a bunch of that is in the final product. A bunch of those edits are in there. That whole sort of slimy John Watersy feeling is in there. So like, I don't know how different this is to what would have come out originally.
Yeah, apart from loads of star wipes, you're just describing the movie.
Yeah.
You don't take your name off a movie because the star wipes you wanted aren't in it.
But they're in it. There's at least 4 like weird wipes.
Bad transitions, yeah.
I don't know if the original, like the opening scene with Paul getting splattered by the bus, whether that is a reshoot, because it feels like it doesn't feel like Ty West shot that. It almost feels to me like he is, if he did shoot that he's shooting it in the Eli Roth style,
Mm.
and then like making a comment when Paul explodes on the front of the bus that
Yeah.
this isn't that anymore. This is something different now.
Could be. If he shot it, I would expect a POV shot of the bus coming towards him, or a bus's POV shot. You know,
Yeah.
a quick cut between those. But we get that. You're right. We get that kind of low distance, multi-angle, weird, blammo kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I like to think that he did shoot that, and he shot it in the Eli Roth style. He shot it in the way that the original movie looks, and then
Yeah.
used
And
that.
then transitioned.
Yeah, use that explosion as a way of being like, nah, we're doing something different.
Yeah, that's over. Now it's this.
Yeah. I wonder if, now, this is pure speculation because, you know, we love to speculate on the Final Transmission podcast, but I wonder if Lionsgate or whoever saw the cut of the movie and thought, is this gang of fucking art school hipster horror douchebags taking the piss out of us and the movies that we like to make? And maybe we're like, we should try and make it not feel quite so spoofy. Still
Right.
funny or whatever, but like less like it's literally mocking the movies that we produce. So,
Sure.
and that's the only thing I could think of that might have got their backs up, because like we know that Ty West is a hipster douchebag. I can say that. We're allowed to say that about our own. That's my word.
He is one of you. Yeah, definitely.
Like we've got Larry Fessenden in there, who's like a big indie horror indie movie name. We've got Michael Bowen. We've got like a bunch of like indie types. Obviously, Mark Borchardt, who is not indie douchebag. He's so, what's the word? He's so authentic. It's almost like he's a hipster. Do you know what I mean?
He's fully gonzo. He's what the hipsters. He has hipsters see guys like him and it starts a movement. That's the problem.
Yeah.
People who ape and aren't truly creative and are derivative, by programming, are building their entire fucking existence off guys like him.
Yeah. Hello. And
He's pure outsider art, and they are
Yeah.
pure fucking whatever the fuck they are. I don't even know.
Yeah, and like Giuseppe Andrews as well is also like, he's sort of, if Crispin Glover existed in the late 2000s, I mean he did, but like if he was like incepted in the late 2000s.
If only Crispin Glover existed in the late 2000s.
Yeah,
He was busy.
He changed his name to Crispin Hellion Glover at that point, and yeah. But I think like the sort of movies that Giuseppe Andrews is making when he's not making Cabin Fever and Cabin Fever 2 are way more in the vein of like those Crispin Glover movies, like What Is It? And It Is Fine, Everything Is Fine, and all that stuff.
Weird career, weird actor.
Giuseppe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. I think he's just a cool guy. He sort of disappeared up his own arse, maybe.
To what extent? Just what happened to him?
I think he just became maybe disillusioned with the Hollywoods and tried to make a career in sort of outsider art,
Oh, okay.
to the point where he faded into absolute obscurity.
I liked him in Detroit Rock City.
I knew you would. Did you like him in Never Been Kissed?
Not really.
I don't think I've ever seen Never Been Kissed.
Oh, I have. Classic.
Is it
I don't
about
remember
a
him in-
journalist who goes back to school and kisses young boys?
Kisses everyone. Yeah.
Isn't that...
Yeah, she's doing air quotes research for a story.
I feel like if that was Chris Cooper in that role, we wouldn't be having a conversation about...
Harry Knowles in the role of No, it's Drew Barrymore. She could be 12, she could be 45. It's fine.
Yeah. So all that is to say that I think that despite the fact that Ty West is super down on this movie and lobbied to have his name taken off it, I just don't know what he was expecting and what is different about the final cut to what he actually made, because it feels like the movie that he describes.
Yeah, release the Zapruder cut and then we have the conversation. But to me, this is a low budget, dumb, gross out, splattery horror movie full of tropes and strange wipes and cuts. I don't know exactly what extent to which he wanted all those things to be happening. But he didn't get what he wanted. He didn't want his name taken off it that badly, did he? Because I'm fairly sure you can just do that. Like,
No, I think so. If you're not in the WGA, no,
the Writers
the
Guild of America,
the DGA,
the Directors Guild of America,
then
I'm
the
doing really
producers
well.
the producers have to approve it, and they didn't. They wouldn't.
Weren't they all his mates?
Like, not at Lionsgate.
Oh, okay, right. Interesting.
So they
So
didn't
that's how
approve it.
sausage is made, people. Jamie's got the insider knowledge. That's why you come to Final Transmission, because Jamie knows. He knows the things you don't know.
Yeah, so I heard most of this in that Q&A at Fright Fest. So go on, Sam. Tell me what you thought of Cabin Fever 2: Spring Fever.
I don't know, if I'm honest, what gaslighting is, but I feel like you gaslit me here, because I'm going into it knowing I'm supposed to like it, and there's quite a lot of things happening that I should like.
Yeah.
Like, I'm seeing things happen, and I'm thinking, you like that, but I'm not liking it.
That's okay. So I
It's-
picked it thinking that maybe you would like it, but I didn't think that you had to like it. A lot of people don't like
No.
it. A lot of people think
Sure.
it's maybe the worst movie they've ever seen in their lives.
Yeah, there's a very vocal contingent of scorching haters out there for Spring Fever. And let me tell you, I'm not among them. I think
Okay.
they are not able to have the kind of fun that I am.
Yeah.
And I'm able to have a very specific kind of teen comedy fun still, even at my ripe old age. So aspects of this, I think, are trying really hard to harness the gross out elements of a teen comedy within the sphere of a gory horror movie, which I think is actually tonally quite difficult. So
Yeah.
I haven't written this off and just said this is lowest common denominator nonsense bullshit. I actually think what they're trying to do here is pretty admirable and kind of tough, like
Yeah.
a pretty tricky balance to strike.
Yeah.
And when
it's
they
definitely
strike
like
it,
a rough needle to thread, I think, of like
oh yeah, you got to do that drunk driving 100 miles an hour to get it right, and
Yeah.
it's not something to be taken lightly. So I've got a lot of respect for the shot. I think trying to pull that off is admirable. So which sounds weird because this is a really dumb thing to try and pull off, right? You're trying
Yeah.
to pull off something deliberately dumb. How can that be admirable? Well, let me tell you, that combo is not something that sits easily together. So it's a tricky thing to do. Well done for trying. I just didn't like it, unfortunately. I thought because it was so tromery, you can lean into that and buy in and have quite a lot of fun with this film.
yeah.
But it's not gonna win any awards. You know what I mean? And that's unfortunate.
Yeah, my thoughts of like why you might like it is it's set in a high school.
Yeah.
We have all of those high school movie tropes of like the loser guy who is obviously one of the most handsome men in the world somehow, and is definitely in his mid-20s, pining over his former girl best friend who is going out with the douchiest guy in the school. Like, this is aimed directly at Sam Russo.
But weirdly, maybe I'm too discerning a teen comedy viewer.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's
I don't
too
believe
melodramatic and there's too much detail. I don't need all that detail. I don't need to see that level of emotion. It just needs to be top line shit for this movie to come off. Like, because it's a horror movie, we still don't have to care about their teen lives. Do you know what I mean? We just need to know it's happening and then move on. And that's what, for my money, a movie like Halloween 2018 does well, is that we understand the social dynamic of the kids. We get their place in the pecking order. We don't go to all their fucking classes and who's dating who and who's going to the prom with who. But you do in a movie like Carrie, which needs it for period appropriateness. Ooh, poor choice of words. For time period appropriateness. This movie doesn't need it. It doesn't elevate it, and it doesn't sink it properly. Like, it doesn't take it to a gross enough place for the jokes to land.
It doesn't take it to a gross enough place.
No, what am I
You
saying?
literally see infected pus spilling out of a penis in glorious close-up.
Yeah, I misspoke. It doesn't need to do all that to justify the gore, is I think what's happening.
Okay,
I think
yeah, that makes more sense.
that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah.
It does go to really gross places, and that's when it's funny, in my opinion. But you can cut a good 15 minutes of teen life out of this movie and focus more on maybe people crawling out of swamps and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
This is going to blow your tits off. I wanted more horror from this movie. But it's not a complete dismal fail. Like, some of that teen stuff is fun. There's some stuff that... It's so trauma to poke a frog and have it spray jizzy pus over a girl's pen that she then puts in her mouth, and then you just giggle at it. That's trauma as fuck. That whole thing. I think trauma could sue. Like, it's such a blatant ripoff. But yeah, so tonally, I thought it was a little bit all over the place and maybe a bit too on the nose. But starting with an exploding character from the previous movie, a big, gory bus plowing through a fucking red mist of human magic.
Yeah, no, I think that's fantastic. And
yeah,
I mean, besides the fact that Ryder Strong's character gets, done kind of dirty by that happening, for me, it just really sets the stall out of like, fuck your previous movie, we're doing a different thing.
Yeah, and you're not expecting it, genuinely.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that bus. It just wasn't a thing I thought was going to happen. I was like, how the fuck are they going to get this guy back into the movie? Are they going to cure him? What the fuck? And then bang. You're dead.
Yeah, Giuseppe Andrews, he's a bad cop. He's not a very good cop.
No, not a very good cop. People call him party cop, right?
Yeah.
What do you think of him as a character? I didn't hate him anywhere near as much as everybody in the fucking world seems to hate this guy.
I think that if I was to guess what the reshoot stuff is, it would be that. It would be
Really?
his weird little story arc that doesn't really do anything or go anywhere.
True, he is like wheeled out into the spotlight several times and then nothing happens. And it does feel a bit like he has a side quest going that isn't fleshed.
Yeah. But like some of the best moments are also with him. Like the Judah Friedlander scene is great.
Definitely.
I don't know why you would shoot Judah Friedlander if you're the infection control guys.
I don't really know why they do anything they do, because they don't shoot people they should, and then they shoot people they shouldn't, and then they just sort of fuck everything up.
I think if you have a toxic like a bloodborne toxin that is spread through the sharing of bodily fluids, maybe don't oozy everybody to death.
Yeah,
like,
seemingly just by the touch as well. Like, you can just get a bit of a bodily fluid on your skin and then you get a blister and you're fucked, which is scary.
Yeah, so I don't understand what those guys are doing, really.
I thought maybe I'd zoned out and that's why I didn't get it.
No,
but
they just don't really
had.
make any sense. They just sort of they exist in order to lock people in the school. So the action, like the big culminating events, happen within the prom.
Yeah, I think
that's fine. Should we get into some of the gooey stuff?
Yeah, let's get gooey.
Do you have like a favorite gooey moment?
Yeah, his dick. The whole thing with his dick is great. So Alex's whole problem is that for some reason he gets revenge beaged by a girl who has a large weeping sore on her lip and train track braces. And he, for some reason, ejaculates a gallon of jizz into this girl's mouth that she then spits out into the sink. All of this is fine. Great stuff.
Yeah.
And then we know there's going to be a very specific gore effect happening in his groin region. We assume he's going to reach down and pull his hand up and there's going to be like bits of dick on it or something, and it's going to be hilarious and gory. They go way further. We get full frontal dick spilling, I guess is the best word for this. Just spilling pus and blood all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's great. It looks awesome. And then his dick comes off and his last words are, "Have you seen my dick?"
So,
great.
Here's a weird thing, and spoiler for the movie Antichrist. But both of these movies came out in 2009, and they both involve incredible, difficult stuff coming out of a dick very violently.
You've said that's one of your favorite dick effects of all time, correct?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Might be number one.
Yeah. I can't think of loads.
In our Street Trash episode, we talked a lot about movies in which the penis is severed.
Yeah.
From the owner, and you talked at length about that particular effect.
Yeah, about 9 inches.
At length, everyone. You get it? So I really enjoyed that because it went further than I thought it would. The effect was absolutely superb. I thought it was
I think
brilliant.
all of the effects are great.
All the gore is wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm so glad there's nothing that I noticed. No CG gore in this movie that I saw.
No.
Just great fucking dicks pumping pus all over the floor.
Yeah, like even like the bit with his nail is gross
Yeah,
enough for me.
Looks
Like,
so real. It was awful. Yeah. I love that he just glues it back on. Crack on, mate.
I really like the pool scene.
Pool scene is a rough hang.
I mean, it's a rough hang, but only because it's horrible.
Is it reductive of me to say that I think it's obvious why we're supposed to be repulsed, I guess, by what's happening in that pool? I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know how I was being made to feel.
The movie sort of wants you to think that they're in some sort of Carrie spoof, like jokey situation where like this girl is having a trick played on her. But
Sure.
She's not having a trick played on her. He just wants to have sex with her.
Yeah, and I
that's-
think it's
That's
quite
kind of
cool that
Yeah.
he just goes and fucks anyone, basically. Like,
Yeah.
great. Okay, good. I thought maybe I was overthinking it.
Obviously, he changes his tune when her tooth comes out and she bleeds into his mouth.
Yes.
And then has an insane melt in the pool that we don't get to see, so it doesn't really count as a melt. But like,
I can't count that as a melt, no.
like I wanted to see in that moment her like Jason Voorhees jump out of the water all
Drippy.
all mangled, and yeah, but we don't get to see
Bits,
that, unfortunately.
bits flying off. No, that would have been cool. Yeah. I sort of cringed my way through that pool scene, to be honest. I like infection movies where you get to see the infection starting out really small.
Yeah,
Because it's such a great bit of... It's not really foreshadowing, I guess. You just see that and you know, you're fucked. And I can't wait to see how this fucks you.
yeah,
It always develops really well and interestingly in movies like this.
yeah. I think like obviously we don't get an awful lot of that in this because
Yeah.
we don't see people like being a little bit infected. We kind of do some characters where it can be asked, but like
Yeah.
obviously in the original one, it's developed over the full 90 minutes and it leads up to the big stuff that happens at the end. Whereas in this, it's more like we know the water is infected, so
Yeah.
it's whenever we see someone drinking the water, we're like, oh yeah, we know that's how we build the tension, is that we sort of show people going to drink the water or drinking the water or having the water knocked out of their hand or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they overkill that with the punch because she uses the infected water to make the punch, and then the janitor pisses his blood piss, which is so gross.
That was great. I love that. The janitor pissing in the punch, already good. The blood, the piss becoming blood, it's wonderful. Really good stuff. Imagine drinking your high school janitor's bloody piss.
No, thank you. No, I'd rather not.
I'm all in.
The thing that really gets me in the pool scene, and I'm a sucker for this, when somebody hits the back of their head and the Foley is just right, I feel that every single time.
Oh, a fleshy, tiley whack.
Yeah, there's a moment in the movie, at the very beginning of the movie, All the Boys Love Mandy Lane, where
Right.
somebody jumps off the roof of a house into a pool and they misjudge it. And I think about that all the time because
Oh.
when I first saw that, I think I got a nosebleed. Like it was so visceral to me that I at least got the feeling in my nose that when you get a nosebleed, when you're like,
Yeah.
or your blood vessels sort of go weird in your nose.
Yeah, hitting the back of your head is always either absolutely fine and you're always really surprised that it's totally fine, or it's brain damage.
Yeah.
There's no like hitting your head and it hurts quite a lot. It's either, I thought that would hurt a lot more, or oh dear, I can't think anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, I think this is one of the good ones as well. Like it's the way the Foley lands, it just makes it work.
Yeah, the hammer whacking the head in the end, sort of whatever you want to call it, the final confrontation scene in the wood shop is good Foley as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, a serious... I mean, a hammer whacking a head is either great or awful, and this one was pretty top shelf, I thought.
Yeah, it's weird because like she's fine.
Do you know what? People get really bent out of shape about these, like, oh, you'd never survive that. I quite like it when someone, gets the absolute ever-loving shit kicked out of them and just gets up and walks away. I don't want to see realistic combat-style injuries in a horror movie. I want people to get hit in the head with a hammer and then run around screaming.
Well,
I think that's fun.
I think sometimes I do want to see that, but I don't want to see that in Cabin Fever 2.
I suppose, yeah. There's a balance.
Yeah.
The movie kind of lands it, I think.
Yeah, I don't want Men Behind the Sun, Philosophy of a Knife. I want Cabin Fever 2. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I want Jackie Chan.
Yeah. Also, a thing that really works for me is when Larry Fessenden's dying in that diner scene. The all the blood like spurting out of his like tracheal valve. Super gross. And that blood looks like actual real good blood. It's so
It does. Yeah, it's great blood. It looks really surgical. There's something really weird about that whole thing happening that feels quite original. Like spraying blood around a fucking trach hole. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just gets the job done.
It does. And
Solid.
like I also
Why does that happen again? I can't remember why that happened.
He's the water delivery person, so the implication is that he's also been drinking the water.
Right, okay.
Or like works for the water company and therefore is infected somehow. I don't think we ever see him drink the water. Maybe we do when he's behind the wheel or something, but
Bill the water truck driver, Larry Fessenden, your boy.
So, like, when this is an effect that I always love, but when he like opens his shirt and it like pulls half of his skin off with it, I think that's it's just done beautifully.
Yeah, I love in a movie where somebody's skin comes off because of just like light contact or whatever. It terrifies me to think of the idea that you would be so rotten that you wouldn't even realize that your skin was just about to slide off your skeleton.
Yeah.
And all it takes is for someone to touch it and it comes off. What the fuck? No, thank you.
Yeah, I think I remember doing a lot of reading about necrotizing fasciitis, like after watching the first Cabin Fever.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't work like that.
Nah.
But,
Maybe not.
you know, still super gross.
Do you like this film? I mean, I know that you're pretty much all in on everything we've talked about already. And there is something very Jamie about a director wanting his name taken off it. And therefore it being somehow elevated by that.
I mean, it's definitely not elevated by that. Like as we know from the House of the Devil episode, I'm a big fan of Ty West and Ty West's oeuvre. But like I say, I just don't know how this movie is remotely different to what he wanted to do. And I have a lot of fun with it. I don't think it's especially great. I think it has a lot of problems, but I can easily glide over those problems because I get to look at oozing pus come out of a dick.
Yeah, it's amazing how much of a salve that can be.
Yeah, just rub it all over
red
you.
Raw. Yeah, just rub it all over those nips and go swimming. I think, so a movie like Idle Hands, I think, in my mind, does the teen high school thing quite well. But I do remember rewatching it years later and being like, actually, this is really fucking boring. To fall into the same trap of over egging the teen pudding, if you will, over appling the pie.
I don't think we get too much downtime. I don't think there's enough downtime for me to get bored of the school stuff.
Yeah, I suppose.
I think like as it sort of wades into boring territory, something happens. Maybe 8 seconds before I was about to go, before my brain was going to say, do you know what? This is boring. We should move on. It moves on.
Yeah.
It just about preempts it. So I think like it just gets away with it.
I think with some slightly more appropriate music choices, you could have had me through some of that melodrama. Like, you know how Twin Peaks ladles on the uber cheesy, very fucking daytime TV Badalamenti music to cruise you through those bits and to really stylize it. I'm not saying you should do exactly that, but you should be telling the audience, I think, this is deliberately self-indulgent melodrama because someone's dick is about to fall off. Yeah. That would have been cool. And the music in this is not great, I don't think.
No, there are 2 Sparks songs and a Ramones cover.
Yeah, the Ramones cover works. That's a good choice, but does it have to be a cover? Like, I think they could have got the original if they tried. Well, another interesting linkage with Idle Hands, right? There's also a Ramones cover in that movie.
There is, yeah.
There you go.
I agree that Idle Hands doesn't quite hold up.
Yeah, weird. In my head, it's fucking incredible.
I think because and I've said this about rewatching the TV show Lost, is that you just sort of edit out all of the boring stuff and only remember the good stuff.
Yeah, it was more of a moment than a movie, maybe.
Yeah.
Say what you want about Cabin Fever 2, it's still a movie.
Yeah, I think it does hold up.
Hold up. When did it come out? 2009.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in this that would be considered problematic by audiences today.
Both the first and the second movie make a lot of gay jokes.
Yeah.
You'd think by the second movie, you'd be like, those gay jokes were a little rough. Maybe we should not do that again. They almost double down.
We get some homophobic F slurs. We also get the headmaster just having a big gay burly boyfriend as a punchline for nothing, for no reason.
That is not a good bit. Like,
No.
I guess maybe to some young viewers, the idea of having a gay principal is hysterical. But the build-up of him talking to his quote-unquote wife on the phone several times.
Yeah.
And the payoff is it's a guy. Like, that's, even by teen comedy standards, not funny. Like, it's fucking American Pie Beta House funny. Like,
it's
really bad.
Like, it's National Lampoon's, like, not one of the good ones type stuff.
Yeah. And that's kind of an indicator for me of where the humor is pitched for the most part here, where if there's any kind of joke, like if there's anything with a build-up or something that necessitates a punchline, it's bad. It's at that level. Whereas if it's just a gross-out throwaway one-liner, there's a couple of good ones. The 18-year-olds thing, whatever it is. What is it? She told me she was 18. I always listen to children. It doesn't really make sense or land, but it's delivered quite well, and therefore makes you chuckle. And your bar is set pretty low by that point, you know?
Yeah, I sort of wonder if that is a line from like Judah Friedlander's like stand-up that he's just like shoehorned in.
Do you think so?
Yeah, like I feel like nobody's written that, because like why would you say that in that situation?
It almost feels misspoken.
Yeah.
Like it feels like he said something slightly wrong, and they were like, "That's kind of funny. Keep that in." But there's a bit of that. You know, the movie's kind of punctuated with that. It's not like show-stopping comedy.
Yeah,
But there are a few good bits.
Also, the elbow drop from Mark Borchardt, I think, is hysterical.
I thought that was really funny, and people hated that.
I don't get it. I think also Mark Borchardt is maybe giving the best performance he ever possibly could in this movie.
I think he's good in this, and I think he's at a point in his life where he's self-aware enough to know why he's there and what's happening around him, which is way more than you can say for anything I've seen previously.
Yeah.
And I think he comes at this with a sort of rascally, mischievous energy. You just think he's going to look straight into that camera any second, and he doesn't. And it feels restrained. It feels, I don't know, it feels like a pretty well rendered version of that character. And the elbow drop works. It's a culminating moment for his his whatever, if you want to call it a cameo. It's a culminating moment in the cameo.
I wonder if like he didn't have lines written and he just like said words that were in his brain.
Possibly. He's good at that.
Well, because like everything that he says sounds like him.
Yeah.
And like I don't think that any of the writers involved in this movie are good enough to be like, what would Mark Borchardt, director of Coven, say in this moment?
I love that we have to say it Coven as well. We can't say Coven.
You've got to say Coven, otherwise it would rhyme with oven.
He's just decided that that's how you say it.
I think I always say Coven now in any situation, even if I'm not talking about American movie.
If you're referring to a witch's coven.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I love that guy.
I think so. He's amazing.
He makes the movie better just by showing up and saying some nothing. He's not even... Is he a character? What's happening with this guy? Not much. He's just driving around.
Yeah, he's there to give Giuseppe Andrews something to bounce off. I think their dynamic
give him a
is
ride.
pretty good. I believe that they're cousins.
I'd watch a buddy movie of them.
Yeah.
I think they're good together. They work. There's just not... I can't criticize it. And I think throwing the elbow drop in there is very... It's irreverent. It's simple, and it's just pure plain fun. That is not the way anybody would incapacitate an enemy combatant in that situation.
Yeah.
And it's fucking funny. He does it really well. It lands. Well played, Mark.
It's Harold Lloyd like silent comedy slapstick stuff that is great.
Yeah.
I really rate it. I think also, obviously, we know that Noah Segan goes on to have a fairly big career in like mainstream movies as like a third stringer.
What does he do?
He's in a bunch.
I love him in Brick. I think he's phenomenal in Brick, but that's before this.
It is. He is in basically all of Ryan Johnson's movies.
Oh, okay.
He's just a guy that gets work off the back of like being in that sphere.
Yeah, I think something he does really well is be a bit hysterical, but not over the top. He's got a great shout, and he's got this great rhythmic sort of lyricism to his delivery when he's really aggro. He's got a really punchy delivery, and I think he does a great job of that in this movie because, you know, in a different actor's hands, it could just be way too much over the top hysterical, wow bullshit. But he does have a strength of delivery that plays well into the scenes and what's happening in them in this film, and I think he's pretty measured. He doesn't, if I'm honest, I don't think he seems to be really loving what he's doing. There's a tiny element where I'm just like, ooh, I don't know how much you're actually enjoying this film.
I mean, he made around the time that this movie was made, so I think it shot in 2006, 2007. It didn't come out until 2009.
Okay.
He was making a bunch of like fairly low budget horror stuff. Like he played one of the leads in Dead Girl, which is about two guys that find a zombie girl chained up in a warehouse, and tell you what, they don't set her free.
Yikes.
And he was also in a Chad Ferrin movie called Someone's Knocking at the Door, which has a similar vibe to this, but maybe a little bit more Lynchian in its daftness.
Yeah, weird career, strange guy, I imagine, and not in a bad way. Like I like some of these incredibly bizarre decisions the guy's made. He's in The Pale Door. He's done some stuff. His performance in Brick is pretty outstanding. I think it still sticks with me to this day. Cool character.
I love Brick.
Yeah, me too. It's one of my all-time faves. So the movie has a relatively slow, bumbling, ambling start in a way. You know, it does the teen thing for a while, and then people don't start dying till what, like, I mean, all right, someone explodes immediately, but like the sort of more slashery, off we go, we're off to the races pace doesn't really kick off till about 40 minutes in, which is surprising.
It's wild, really, given that it's only an 82-minute movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. We take so long to get from Paul exploding to Bill, the delivery guy, doing his thing. And there are moments in between that, like the blowjob is really quite violent.
Is it violent?
Yeah, like there's a whole really painful bit where she gets her braces stuck on his dick, and like...
Oh yeah, but you don't see that.
No, but like it just feels violent.
Yeah.
Oh, why are you looking so wistful?
Wouldn't you like to know? It's a cool scene. I liked it. It's inexplicable. I don't understand her motivation, really. I'm really going to get back at this guy by sucking off this guy. Like, sure, but fun and a means to an end.
So one of the things that made me...
Fun and a means to an end.
Well, yeah. But yeah, one of the reasons why I thought maybe you would like this is that I think that character, the Alex character, is quite similar to the little mate in The Loved Ones that goes on that prom night date and gets thrown out of the prom and all that stuff from our Loved Ones episode, or from the movie The Loved Ones that we talked about in depth in that episode.
Yeah. The problem occurs, again, with it mixing with the horror genre, because you always just end up with a slightly nastier, greasier, less cool, less endearing, less charming version of the kid or the guy or whatever, or the girl, whatever, that you get in the teen comedy movie.
Yeah.
Because for some reason there has to be a layer of filth on everything. And I don't love that. I think you could have a really earnest, sidekick-esque, side story, bumbling idiot character who isn't giving you the real back of the throat ick the entire time. I haven't seen it really in a horror movie, I don't think. There's
not a modern one.
Well, no, I mean, Halloween 2018 again is the only one that comes close, but the guy's just not funny. He doesn't really land any of his jokes. He's a bit over the top with the females, would be a nice way to say it. It's a close call, but it doesn't quite work. It's Drew Sheed playing Oscar. But again, like they cast people who are hard to even look at as lovable sidekicks. He looks so bizarre, and he's cast for that reason, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it all comes with a thin, filmy, greasy layer of dust that you have to kind of scrape away to get to any kind of semblance of humanity, and that's not particularly endearing to me.
Yeah, he in the Alex character in this, less so the guy in The Loved Ones. This feels much more like Porky's than American Pie.
Which isn't good at all.
No.
I think Porky's is both bad and wrong and fucking inexplicably overrated. If you ever really want to brutalize your soul, watch the American Pie movies that come after like the wedding and the reunion, when it goes to like none of the cast are in them anymore except weird Eugene Levy moments, whoever the fucking guy is that plays there's a whole storyline where the Shermanator becomes the guidance counselor at the school.
No.
And it is some of the worst shit I've ever seen in my entire life.
I think like late American Pie movies to you are the same as like deep trauma movies to me. Like,
I don't love them enough to put that anywhere near.
But like deep trauma movies, I also don't love that much. There's
You just have to watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the wedding and the reunion. I like them. They're not necessary or good.
Are they doing a new one where they
fuck.
bring all the original cast back? It seems like
No.
they probably would be doing something like that.
What? They can't be. Don't drop this on me. Let's have a look. While there's no confirmed American Pie 5 movie in production, there's been discussion and interest from the cast and crew. No doubt they're broke. Challenges of middle age. Woof. Tell me about it, baby.
Yeah, I saw. What did I see Sean William Scott in recently? Was it in the
Righteous Gemstones.
Righteous Gemstones? Yeah.
Apparently,
looking
Tara
different.
Reid is the person who's teasing this.
Oh, the one that gets zero work. That's weird.
And also the one who isn't even in the American Pie movies at the end. Well, Natasha Lyonne's having some kind of career renaissance. What's her fucking... MILF is having a career renaissance.
Yeah, Coolidge. Jennifer
Nobody
Coolidge.
else is. Yeah, Jennifer
What do you
Coolidge,
mean?
that's it,
Fucking Jim is presenting that show about pies.
About pies. Yep. Sean William Scott's, come back from absolute obscurity to at least being one TV show.
The Biggs, Jason Biggs' show about pies is so funny that he's judging a pie contest, and it's every time they make a pie, he's like, "Yeah, looks pretty good to me." Like
the same bit over and over and over again. Oof. I can tell you that Thomas Nicholas doesn't love talking about whether American Pie 5 is going to happen or not. He's still touring as a musician, not making many movies. He said in some social media stuff recently that his acting career he's still actively an actor. It's just on a kind of weird hiatus at the moment. Yeah, nobody in those movies is doing anything.
Like, what's Hannigan even up to now? Like, she's
Nout. What about Suvari? Where did she fucking go?
Great question.
I don't know, man. We didn't necessarily need to go on this deep dive into the cast of American Pie in order to contextualize the comedy of Cabin Fever 2. But there is an endearing quality. If you can take a movie that is so morally wrong, like the American Pie movies, for example, and you can still, to a vast audience, even of people who know better, have endearing characters on funny little side quests where they shit their pants, etc., then you've struck a very special kind of alchemical magic. And
I think like if you can,
you can't take that for granted and just try and pull it off in a movie like this. It just won't happen.
If you can make American Pie stand up to at least 40% of the audience that saw it at the time, and still, and they look at it now and they go, okay, yeah, some of this stuff is aged badly, but at least the characters have heart.
Yeah, and at least it's still a pretty honest take on what a lot of teenage humans go through.
Yeah.
You make awful decisions as a teenager that quite often subject other people to misery and suffering.
Yeah.
And
I guess, also Stifler is, the nearest thing to Alex in this movie.
Yeah.
But Jim has, 6 friends, and Stifler is just one of them, whereas John
Yeah.
has 3 friends, and we only really spend any meaningful amount of time with Alex.
Yeah.
So
And the mistake of the wedding is that Stifler becomes very much a main character and has an arc, and we're supposed to really, really like him and understand where he's coming from by the end.
yeah,
And it doesn't work at all. There's a part of that movie where he eats an actual dog turd. Eats dog shit.
oh. I think like a thing that I enjoy is the fact that, like you say, the times when it wants to be funny and it has quote unquote funny dialogue doesn't really work. But like the uncomfortableness of the gore is funny enough to me.
Yeah, the jokes don't work. The situational comedy is fine.
Yeah.
But this isn't written by people who know how to write jokes, I don't think. It's written by people doing their best to write some funny stuff because they know that kids are funny.
Yeah.
And they're making a horror movie first and foremost, primarily.
Yeah.
And that's why it doesn't really work and isn't very good.
I think it's interesting to take the uncomfortable comedy of like the gore in the first one and try and make that the whole movie.
Yeah, it's a weird choice because making the second one, they could have just used the fairly successful formula of the first one, dial back some of the homophobia, dial back some of the, less tasteful stuff and really ramp up the gore. Have more... It's not as gory as you remember it, I don't think, the first one. When you rewatch it, you're like, oh, okay. It's not quite as,
Yeah.
there's no melts, for example. Have more melts.
There are a few like gory highlights in the first one. But they're sort of slow burn gore as well. Like I say, with the shaving the leg scene.
Yeah.
That is a character moment as well. Like this girl, we know that her one defining character beat is that she wants to feel attractive.
Yeah.
And like making herself feel pretty is the only way that she can feel normal. So in that moment, it feels really human, but also really disgusting. And obviously there's none of that here. There's a moment where a couple are making out and then instantly spew blood onto each other. And obviously that's gross.
Yeah.
But I like it a lot, but it doesn't have any weight behind it.
No, but again, I was sort of thinking, fucking pick a lane here, and the lane I want you to pick is the hilarious prom montage of the total descent into gory chaos.
Yeah.
All these teenagers are puking in each other's mouths and pulling each other's scalps off, and their legs are buckling while they're dancing. They're swimming around in pissy, cummy gore all over the dance floor. It kind of half tries that, but also still half tries to keep the teen narrative on the boil.
Yeah.
The result is kind of a lukewarm mixture of both. And like I said, it's not offensively poor. Both are interesting enough to kind of keep you loosely hooked. But I would have loved to have seen that go completely unhinged.
One of the big mistakes is the fucking martial arts ex-boyfriend going completely insane.
He's not particularly interesting, yeah. That whole storyline completely lost me. I have no interest in them.
I get it from a teen movie standpoint, but just have him melt into a nightmare. I don't need to see him Vincent Cassell someone with a fucking fire extinguisher.
Yeah. Oh, no, I quite like that because it was a really rubbery head.
Yeah, I mean, I like
the gore
it,
effect there was fun.
I just don't need it. Like,
I want somebody to do it. It doesn't have to be him.
I've seen that exact effect at the very beginning of Irreversible. So, like, we've seen Vincent Cassell do that exact thing. So it just feels like we're doing that. It doesn't feel like it's not new or interesting. It's the exact same thing. And like, I like to see it, but I don't need to see it.
Yeah. Timing wise, I'd checked out on him and his whole bullshit thing with the girl. And so when he was doing that, I was like, oh, okay, all right, I'm back. And then it was over.
What I want from him is him to be infected, him go to punch somebody, but his infection being so bad and gross that when he pulls his hand back, all of his skin comes off his hand or something.
Yeah, stuff like that would be great.
Be hoisted on his own like bully petard rather than whatever happens to him, which I don't even remember.
That's what I mean. There's not enough sort of connective tissue between teen comedy characters and the horror movie at large. Like you said, have them die in ways that match their archetype. Have them in situations of jeopardy that are built around who they are in the teen comedy universe in this. I mean, apart from Blowjob Guy, that tracks.
That does track.
Gets beeged, dick off, dead.
Yeah. I think I like the way that works because it does have a narrative through line. It's a gross narrative through line.
Yeah, that is very satisfying. I don't like how far they decide they have to take it. They have to follow the girl all the way to the strip club, and then she just sort of does a lame sick. I think that's all crap.
I wrote down that she's got buboes on her boobos though. So
Yeah, boobos on your boobos. Yep.
So I thought you might like that.
Yeah, she's got boobos on her buzzy wuzzies.
But that scene is gross for all the wrong reasons.
I didn't find it gross. It felt...
I just like all the guys being like,
forced.
I think that girl's 16. Yeah, that's hot. Like,
Oh, yeah, that's gross. Yeah,
all of that stuff.
I suppose,
Like,
yeah, we have to say that's gross. I hate
it was
I hate
gross.
mouth. I hate mouth sicking. You know when you know it's not real. You got a mouthful of beans and you spit it out. Mouth sicking is slightly more tolerable than fake smoking in movies, but it's all in the same place to me where I just go, oh, not a film. Just someone spitting stuff.
We've talked a lot about like realistic vomit,
Yeah,
and
yeah. It's
this
an art form.
this wasn't one of them.
Yeah, it's bad.
The cum spitting, that was I don't know if she went method on that or what, but like it looked real.
What really sucked him off? It could be. It's a lot of cum.
Yeah,
First time I think I've ever said that was a lot of cum on the Final Transmission podcast. Well, I don't know about you, Jamie, but I feel like our dicks have fallen off, and it's time to give our final thoughts and rate this movie.
All right, well, let's take a break and come back and do that.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Will you give it up, man? Nobody's out there. We're alone. Oh no, there's somebody out there. I'm picking up all this crosstalk.
Okay, Sam, I am ready to give my final thoughts and score for Cabin Fever 2. Although I'm not actually ready to give my score because I don't know what that's going to be just yet.
You love to wing it.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you don't rate these movies in advance.
No, I've always wing it. Constantly.
Live in the now.
Yeah, get the net. It's a Wainsworth quote.
Believe me, I'm aware. It's time for you to finish me off, baby.
Okay, so I know that this isn't good. I know that it has myriad problems, tonally, pacing-wise, story-wise, acting-wise, character-wise. Like, everything about this is bad.
You're
theory.
serving up what could be the biggest butt in the history of the world right now.
I'm bending over and showing you my gigantic butt.
Here it comes.
But I like it. I just think it's good. I just think it
allowed to.
works. It just kind of does enough stuff right that I don't care about all of the bad stuff. All of the bad stuff is stuff that you see in every single low budget, low rent, late 2000s horror comedy.
Yeah.
And those movies don't have a close-up of a dick weeping puss.
True.
So like,
Good pus too. Great pus.
yeah, it looks so gross. All of the puss looks so gross.
Is there a specific demographic of audience that you think finds that more repulsive and gross than others, for example? It doesn't fuck with me, and you'd think it would, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I have that equipment, and that exact thing could go wrong. And so you think you'd relate so much that it would freak you out, but it looks so cool. I just don't react like that.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's gross enough that it's cool, and it's cool enough that it's not too gross.
Yeah, I think maybe that's it. Maybe it's just a perfect little moment.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to hear from the audience on this.
Yeah.
I think the dick prosthetic looks great.
Superb. I thought it was a real dick,
Yeah,
Your Honor. I
I believe-
honestly did. He's handling it well. Like, all of it looks real. Great stuff.
yeah. It does enough. Like I say, it does enough stuff right that like I don't care about all of the bad stuff. I know it's not good. It's so bad that the director wanted to have their name taken off it. I still, like I say, I don't know what you were trying to do because this feels like the movie that you've described.
Yeah.
Fine.
Don't walk it back now, you fucking dick.
Like some of the stuff that I've read suggests that the comedy is the invention of like the recutting it together, And that is absolutely at odds with the stuff that Ty West has said.
And that seems logistically not impossible, but incredibly difficult to construct all that comedy and just pepper it throughout without completely destroying the entire film.
You would have to reshoot basically everything in order to make it a comedy when it wasn't before.
Yeah, and you'd be the contrast in how characters behave would be so stark. To take someone rock solid stoic the whole way through and then pepper the rest of their performance with minor comedic stings here and there doesn't make any sense.
The thing about the movie that leaves a bad taste in my mouth is the fact that it ends with such a whimper. We have this gigantic, explosive. Well, it's the stuff at the strip club, and then like I don't hate the animation. I mean, I don't like it, but I as a concept, the idea that we see the infection ferrying off into various different places with the implication that it's going to eventually just take over the world because you can't contain something like this. We were alive during COVID. We know the vibe. So like
COVID. Yep.
Yeah. COVID-19,
his next movie.
But that end, the stuff in the strip club just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It just feels like it's from a different movie. And I wonder if that is reshoot stuff because it just doesn't feel in keeping with the vibe at all. Nobody has vomited vomit. Everybody has only vomited blood up until that point.
True.
We see a couple of buboes on like the janitor's face, but we don't have this extensive bubo on the boobies strip scene.
Yeah.
Like we don't see that sort of thing. So the ending it sours me a little bit.
It is tonally different, isn't it? It doesn't sit particularly well.
And I think like there's no good joke that follows that up that allows me to forget about it. Whereas,
there's no strip club joke. Yeah.
Yeah. All of the other stuff before it has something that happens after it where I'm like, well, okay, the dick, the pool, everyone's vomiting and slipping over in the vomit and all that stuff. So there's no redeeming moment at the end.
Yeah, agreed.
I leave the movie feeling icky and not in the way that I've enjoyed for the previous 68 minutes or whatever. But before that, I'm having a great time. So in terms of a score, I would probably give this 7 cups of penis pus out of
a possible how many cups of penis pus?
Out of maybe, let's say 12.5. 7 out of 12.5.
Big numbers, dude. Big numbers.
I really enjoy it up until I stop enjoying it.
Yeah.
So that's my take.
That's a lot of cum.
Yeah, well, it's pus. It's not cum.
It's a lot of cups of pus. Listen, everything you said is right. Bad film. Horribly bad film. I don't think I had as much fun as you did. I would go as far as say I didn't have fun watching this, but I was able to see where the fun could have been, and I totally understand why you thought that I might have enjoyed it. So I'm not offended. I'm just disappointed. No, it was fine. I can't rate it highly just because, holy fuck. I'm going to give it 4.6. Fuck, that's a lot. Well,
I don't think that's a lot. That's below half.
What if I say out of 5?
Well, then that is a lot.
I'm going to give it 4.6 buboes out of 16 buboes.
It's the first buboes, and the second buboes, the buboes.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
You nailed it. Yep. There are glimmers of really fun stuff happening in this movie, and there are little cameos, should we say, and little callbacks and little moments that make it totally sufferable. And then there's a whole slew of sewage that is not terrible, but it kind of does the inoffensive thing that I hate of not entertaining me. So a tricky one, a rough one, but at least an interesting one. They're trying to do something interesting, but there's interesting people involved. There's some great faces on film, and some action that didn't make me want to be somewhere else.
Hey, this is better than last month.
Oh yeah, already better than last month. Yeah, those movies made me want to be anywhere but here.
Yeah. A final thought from me is that they just sort of abandon the natural trajectory of the infection.
Yeah.
In lieu of having people get infected and go from fine to completely fucked in seconds. And like, I don't care about that. But if like you want to have some, like, I don't know, narrative coherence in your movie, then maybe not.
And the way infection spread is so ripe for the right kind of scares in this movie, because you're in a school where everyone knows it's gross everywhere. Everything's grim. Kids are unclean. They're all over each other the whole time. They're doing gross shit. Like, a bit more of that would have been nice. Here's how
Yeah.
it spreads in a school. Oh, in a split second, everyone's fucked. But it doesn't do that. It misses an obvious win there. Yeah, weird one. Is what it is.
Yeah. But like I say, I would really love to hear from the audience on this one. Like, I
So
want to
would
know
I.
what your take on Cabin Fever 2 is. Do you think it's an abomination? Do you think it's good fun? Do you enjoy watching pus come out of a penis as much as me and Sam? Let us
We
know.
really seem to have gone all in on that, haven't we?
Yeah, that's the defining moment of the movie for us, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to hear from the lovers. I want to hear people who love this movie. I've heard enough from people who hated it. Give me your the what's, whys, and wherefores of why you think this is a classic, an underappreciated, much maligned classic.
I also don't want to hear from the haters, but I would be quite happy to hear some tepid takes.
Yeah, definitely. I love a tepid take. Whatever you
Yeah.
do, don't edit what I just said into me saying how it's an absolute all-time worldie classic. And I love it and think it's amazing.
I mean, I might. You don't know. I've got the power.
You have all
Yeah.
the power.
Let us know over on our social media at FT Horror Show on TikTok and on Instagram. And we mentioned it before, but we do have a Patreon where you can spend £5 or dollars a month to get unedited, uncut video and podcast versions of this and all episodes of the Final Transmission podcast. Check out Sam's upcoming tour dates at Sam Russo Music, and tell a friend, share this podcast with your buds. Make sure you're subscribed, do all that stuff, because it helps us be a podcast.
It helps us help you.
Yeah. It helps us provide content like a 2-hour conversation about pus coming out of a knob on film.
Dropped a K-bomb. Blimey.
Yeah. I think I would spell knob with an M. An N, not an M.
An M. Where are you putting that M?
It's silent.
That's a silent M.
No, but I spell it
Well-
with an N. Like a doorknob is a K, but a penile knob is an N.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
You learn something every day, people.
Yeah. This
Thanks
is the
for
sort of
listening.
education that you get at the Final Transmission podcast. And we'll see you next week for another film that I don't know if you'll like next week's one. I don't. The end.
Okay.